The scripture makes us understand that all have sinned and are fallen short of the glory of God, which means that everybody, you, myself, the baby that is being born today, everybody has sinned. It makes me wonder, what is sin? Hi, my name is Reverend Father Isaac Enim Adukwame, and this is the Faith Forum. Sin can be defined as any word, deed, or desire contrary to eternal law. I know you're asking yourself what eternal law is. Eternal law is the divine wisdom of God, which oversees the common good and governs everything. So everything is governed by an eternal law. That is, God has a plan for the whole world. And the plan is to make human beings holy, is to give salvation to human beings. But when human beings commit sin, they go out of order from this plan. And once they are out of order from this plan, God has to bring them back. That is why He brought Jesus Christ to come and restore balance into the eternal law. So eternal law is just the plan of God. So what I'm saying is that sin is any word, any deed that you do against God's plan. And what is God's plans here? God's commandments. The Old Testament has a lot of words for sin. One of the most significant ones that was used often to describe the sin of Israel is the word hata. Hata just means to mix the mark. So to be able to understand this, let's put it in this context. There is a mark that has been given to us. And then if you are able to mix the mark, then you are in the right direction. So you are within the eternal law. But if you miss that mark, then you have sinned. Even if you come close to the mark and you miss the mark, you have still sinned. So, for the Bible, for the Jews, the commandment of God is the mark, is the standard for every life, the standard for everybody. So, once you are a Jew, once you are a human being, you are expected to meet the mark, that is, follow the commandments of God. If you decide not to follow the commandment of God, then you have missed the mark. And once you miss the mark, then you have sinned. So you see how interesting sin is explained even in our own scriptures. So to sum up the definition of sin, we can just say that sin is going against the commandment of God and ourselves. Any word, any deed that goes against the commandment of God and goes against ourselves. Ourselves, I mean, human laws, human customs can be considered as a sin. But then we can also say that sin is also a way of rejecting God's love towards us. So in a more biblical sense, we can define sin as rejecting the relationship with God. So that's the definition we are working with in this video. The church teaches us that there is an original sin, and then there are actual sins. So original sin and actual sin, I'll deal with them in the next video. But in this video, I want to particularly pay attention to the two types of sins we have. We have the mortal sin, the sin that people call sin that you do deliberately, and then we have the venial sin, or what people call the accidental sin. So the venial sin, I will deal with it in the next video. So if you have not subscribed and you have watched me up to this part, you would see that it's very important to subscribe so that we can continue this discussion on what sin is. So mortal sin, this is a grievous sin. That is a huge sin. Sin that you do and then you know that it is a sin. Something that you do and you know that what you are doing is bad, the church considers that as a mortal sin. Now, St. Augustine, one of the greatest saints of the Catholic Church, defines mortal sin as something done or desired contrary to eternal law, or a thought, word, or deed contrary to eternal law as a voluntary act. Now, the word we are underlining here is voluntary act. So, before mortal sin can be a mortal sin, the act of voluntarism should be there. Somebody should stand up and say that I want to do this, I know the consequences, but still I'll do it. And that is what mortal sin is. Before mortal sin can come into existence, there are three things that are supposed to be there. Three conditions that are supposed to be present. Then we can consider something as a mortal sin. The first thing is the graveness of what you are doing. So, if I go and steal something, it is a sin. Now the gravity, we can say, is high. But then when somebody kills another person, the gravity is higher. So when you are going to do something, the graveness of that thing determines whether it will become a mortal sin or not. Now, how do I know whether what I'm saying is grave or what I'm doing is grave? For example, when you look at the commandments of God, and the things in the commandment of God are the things that has been stipulated as grave for us, and they don't help us to be able to keep our relationship with God. So at the time of committing the sin, if you knew that what you are saying is against the commandment of God, then the object matter we are talking about right now is grave. Then the second thing that we can talk about is having full knowledge of the sin you are committing. So you are going to do an action, you have a full knowledge of the action. First, you are aware that it is a grave sin you are going to do. Now, you also know the consequences about what you are going to do. That is the second thing. So the first one, the object matter is supposed to be grave. And the second one, you have full knowledge of what you are doing. Then the third one is that you will to do it. You desire to do it. You yourself, you know whatever you want to do. You know that the object is bad, but you still want to do it. If you fulfill these three conditions, then a sin has been committed. A mortal sin has been committed. And a mortal sin, when committed, does not just take us away from God, it breaks our relationship with God. Because it is a deliberate attempt to choose the devil over God himself. So now I hope you can judge your own action. When you commit an action, you can judge it with these three categories to see whether the action that you committed can be considered as a mortal sin. This channel is particularly created to help you to deepen your faith. So if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, do well to hit the subscribe button. If you like the content, let me know by giving me a like. If you don't like it also, you can tell me you don't like it. If you click the dislike button, let me know why you are saying you don't like it. But I want the conversation to continue. So tell me what you think in the comment section. Tell me, what do you think about sin? Do you think that these three conditions can be found in any actions that you do? Once again, this is your Faith Forum, and my name is Reverend Father Isaac Nanakwame Enim Ado. See you in the next video.